When people hear the word probiotic, they usually think of lactobacillus or bifidobacterium, those friendly bacteria found in yogurt that help with digestion. But few know that there's a probiotic that isn't a bacterium at all. It's actually a yeast called Saccharomyces boulardii, and its story begins not in a lab, but with a traditional remedy in Southeast Asia. Back in the 1920s, a French microbiologist named Henri Boulard was traveling through Southeast Asia during a cholera outbreak. He noticed something curious. Many locals were drinking a tea made from boiled lychee and mangosteen peels, and they seemed to be protected from the widespread diarrhea. Intrigued, Boulard brought samples of the fruit peels back to France and began isolating the microorganisms within. From this natural remedy, he discovered a unique yeast strain which was later named Saccharomyces boulardii in his honor. Unlike the yeast used in baking or brewing, S. boulardii had unusual powers. It could survive stomach acid and bile, remain active even during antibiotic use, and exit the body naturally after a few days, without disturbing the native gut microbiota. This made it incredibly useful in clinical settings, especially when dealing with gut-related disorders. But how does this tiny yeast help our gut? Think of it as a multi-skilled repair worker. When harmful bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, or Clostridium difficile enter the gut and try to stick to the intestinal walls, S. boulardii jumps in and blocks their adhesion sites. It also secretes enzymes that break down bacterial toxins and stimulates immune responses by promoting protective antibodies like IgA. Even better, it strengthens the intestinal lining, reducing leaky gut and keeping inflammation in check. All of this sounds promising, but is it backed by science? Absolutely. One major meta-analysis in 2006, which reviewed 27 randomized controlled trials involving over 28,000 people, found that S. boulardii reduced antibiotic-associated diarrhea by more than 50%. That's a huge benefit, especially for hospitalized or elderly patients taking antibiotics long-term. Another key area is Clostridium difficile infection, CDI, a dangerous gut condition prone to recurrence. A well-known 2000 study published in Gastroenterology showed that patients who took S. boulardii alongside standard antibiotic treatment had their recurrence rate drop from 50% to just 16%, a dramatic improvement. S. boulardii isn't just for adults. In children suffering from rotavirus infection, one study with 275 participants found that supplementation reduced the duration of diarrhea by over a day, along with fewer hospitalizations and better hydration. Other pediatric studies have confirmed its effectiveness in decreasing the severity of symptoms like vomiting and abdominal pain. If you're a frequent traveler, S. boulardii might become your new best friend. A study involving travelers to Mexico and North Africa found that daily supplementation reduced the risk of travelers' diarrhea by 40%, particularly during the first week abroad. Its usefulness extends beyond acute infections. In patients with ulcerative colitis, a form of inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, S. boulardii was shown to prolong remission and reduce flare-ups. For those with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, it helped reduce bloating, urgency, and intestinal permeability, likely by enhancing the proteins that seal the gut lining. Now, what about safety? For most people, adults, children, even pregnant women, S. boulardii is considered very safe. It doesn't colonize the gut permanently and is naturally excreted. However, in people with severely weakened immune systems, such as chemotherapy patients or those with central venous catheters, there have been rare cases of bloodstream infections, so medical guidance is recommended. What's exciting is that research on S. boulardii is still evolving. In animal studies, it was shown to reduce inflammation and gut permeability caused by high-fat diets. Other emerging research is looking into its potential to regulate the gut-brain axis, which could play a role in mood and anxiety disorders. In short, this probiotic yeast may one day help us not only with digestion, but with metabolism, immunity, and even mental health. From tropical fruit skins to clinical trials around the world, Saccharomyces boulardii has made a remarkable journey. It may not be as famous as other probiotics, but it's a powerful ally for our gut, quietly fixing, protecting, and supporting us from the inside out. A traveler yeast indeed, but one that leaves behind balance, not chaos.